In general, my research project explored the connection between alienation from the Israeli nation and the decision to leave Israel. Feelings of alienation from the Israeli nations were, in many interviews, connected to the decision to immigrate. In many narratives, one can see how queer identification and political identification are two parallel experiences which could not be separated, and which motivated the departure simultaneously. Not only did the separation between political activism and queer life seem blurred, participants were sometimes unable to distinguish between the two spheres themselves, challenging the nation both on the question of the occupation of Palestine, as well as on the question of gender identity and sexual orientation, was for some a turning point in their lives. They described the moments of understanding that their very being as political activists and as queers made them redundant, abandoned by the state, and abandoned by the nation, even to the extent of becoming endangered, enemy of the state, and enemies of the collective. Here is an example of an interview I had with Yossi 5 years ago. When I met Yossi for the interview, I asked him to tell me a bit about himself and about leaving Israel. When I started recording, he opened the narrative speaking Arabic. Ana ismi Yossi, he said. My name is Yossi. Ana min Colonia, he continued in Arabic. I am from Colonia. Not only did Yossi choose to speak Arabic to introduce himself, he also referred to his hometown in Israel not by its current Jewish name, but by the name of the destroyed Palestinian village which stood there until 1948. In a way, we might say that Yossi perceived his connection to Israel and the territory through identification with the absentee Palestinian inhabitants rather than with the Jewish Israelis. If I dive a bit into reasons of immigration, and just a bit theory, Jack Halberstam showed that queer subcultures create alternatives by creating the possibilities of future which is not structured by paradigmatic markers of life, such as birth, marriage, reproduction, and death. The queer immigrants who participated in this study criticized the way the Israeli society cherishes these paradigmatic markers exactly. Their narratives express a desire for an alternative life outside of the heteronormative conventions, which are taken for granted by the Israeli collective. For these individuals, heteronormative marker can be seen in reproduction, in a society like Israel that basically having babies is a national goal. Another marker could be a monogamous relationship and marriage. In Israel, you are doomed when you're alone. You're basically carrying the mark of Cain. And another marker is like settling down and buying a house. So these kind of heteronormative markers.